Hi there. Welcome to the Handmade by Lorelei knitting vlog number 79. Today is Wednesday, March 8th. And I have just a really quick episode for you today to talk about what I have been knitting. It is a very kind of overcast day here in upstate New York, and I just filed my New York State sales taxes, so yay me! So I'm in a much better frame of mind now. I thought about doing this video yesterday, but I had been putting it off long enough, so I dove in and started collecting all of my numbers, and that took an entire day. And then this morning I went ahead and filed online. So glad to get that out of the way. So glad. And here we are. So I'm sorry I don't have my co-host here with me, Milen. I miss you so much. It's just not the same without her here. It's just boring old me, just me. But I do have a couple of things to talk about today. Some knitting, and I'll update you on the knit-along that's happening now in case you were not familiar with what that is. And I'm going to show off a bag that I made recently also. And I can talk a little bit about quilting at the end. There's nothing to say. I haven't done any quilting yet on that big quilt I showed in the last episode. I got my studio space kind of cleaned up and decluttered and put another table up there, so now I have adequate surface for that enormous quilt. Hopefully that will help matters a little bit when I finally get it on the machine. Hopefully soon. I'm just going to say that. I'm not going to make any promises because, you know, I have to be in the right frame of mind to do any kind of quilting, and I feel like I just haven't been there. So, okay. So anyway, I do have a finished object to show you, which is exciting. And I've got them right here. These are all done. They're just vanilla socks, and I used yarn from Nomadic Yarns. And this yarn is her self-striping, just basic sock. There's no stellina or anything fancy. There's no merino. I think they're just merino nylon, I think. And the colorway is called Long Winter's Nap. These took a couple weeks to finish, but I love them so much. They are wonderful. They were actually a little bit big, and I threw them through the washer, so now they are perfect. And I'm excited to finally get to wear them. This yarn was so nice to work with. I do have one more skein of her yarn in stash. I know she did an update this past weekend, but I resisted because I wanted to have enough money to pay my New York State sales tax. So yarn purchases have been put on hold. All purchases really have been put on hold. So anyway, this is my finished object for the week. Just some plain old socks. And I've gone ahead and put another pair of socks on my needles, and I finished the first sock this morning. So that's exciting. I'm going to steal one of these. I am so happy about these socks. Oh my gosh, they are so fun. I wanted to use up some scraps that I have laying around, so I ended up finding a scrap skein of black, and I don't even know where I got it. It might be Sonder yarn. I feel like it's Sonder yarn. It might even be yak. I don't know. And I really actually don't have any idea. But I found that in Stash, so I use that. And then I found a little ball of this. This is leftover yarn from a cowl pattern that I did a long time ago. And this is Primrose Yarn Company. I'm keeping these socks in my little Blueberry Fields bag. Look at that little owl. He's so cute. These bags are the best. So, my idea was to do cuffs and toes with this. I hope to God I have enough. I'm playing a little bit of yarn chicken here. I have no idea how much I'll need or how much I have. So, here's the first sock. It is fun, isn't it fun? I went and just did a little shorty. So I did 15 rows of 2x2 ribbing. And then I did 15 rows of straight stockinette in the black and went right into the heel flap and gusset. I wear a size 10, so these are quite big. And I did a barn toe, which is just a rounded toe. It's my favorite. There's no Kitchenering. Yeah. So I just have to cast on the second sock and I'll be well on my way. I really like these. I'm going to make more of these for sure. I like that they go over my ankle. My ankles are cold and these are kind of good transition socks. So where you still want your ankles to be warm, but it's starting to warm up a little. And I think that these will look really cute with maybe a cropped jean and some Birkenstocks? I don't know. So, yeah. So that is my half finished object. And I am super, super stoked about those. I know, seems like a silly thing. But I really love having a pair of socks on the needles along with my bigger project, just in case I don't feel like working on that big project. And I'm going to talk about that big project next. So, as you recall, Milen and I are co-hosting a knit-along for the Hiraeth Shawl, which is in this book, The 52 Weeks of Shawls by Lina Magazine, or Lina Publishing. Here is the picture of the shawl. It's a very large wool shawl. She used in the designer is Claire Walls. Claire used 5 skeins of Ranger DK by EchoView Fiber Mill. And I thought it has kind of a rustic look to it. So I ended up finding yarn. We talked about this in the last episode. So if you want to look and see the colors that Milen chose, and I chose a green color. You can check back in the last episode, number 78. But we found yarn from Juniper Moon Farms. It's called Patagonia Organic Merino, and it's wonderful. It is really, really good. And I actually want to buy more of it to knit a sweater. I don't know how soon that's going to happen, but that's my plan. So here is the tag. We got it at Webb's. And for the 4 skeins we needed for this project, it came to $51. So it's a very large shawl. It actually requires 1,230 yards of DK weight. So here is the color that I chose. It's a beautiful green called Juniper Green. And here is my progress so far. I've made a fair bit of progress on this. And I'm super, super happy with how it's turning out. Look at it. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. So this is the end that you cast on, that long edge. I know it's daunting, but we did it. And then each row you're decreasing on one side. So the rows are consistently getting shorter, which makes it really nice. As you may or may not know, I'm not a huge fan of garter stitch, which is what all this is, but it's not bad. This is breaking it up just enough to keep my interest. So this is just a very basic lace. It's not hard at all. There are no cables. There's just yarn overs and knit two togethers and SSKs, and that's about it. It's very, very easy and very, very intuitive. The pattern is really nice. It's very, very intuitive in that I really only have to look at the chart briefly to see how the row starts of the pattern. And then I can just go from there. I can just go. So there's not a lot of referring to the chart, which I think is nice. I haven't made any mistakes yet, but this is very, very simple stuff. I mean, a beginner could do this for real. And if you are a beginner and don't have a lot of experience with lace, just go ahead and try it and we'll walk you through it. I did notice today, I looked at my Ravelry group. I have not looked to see if there is any hashtagging going on Instagram, but I do know that there has not been any activity in the Ravelry group. So I do hope that if you're working on the Hiraeth shawl, please go over to my Ravelry group. It's under Handmade by Lorelei podcast group, maybe something like that. And there's a chat thread. Go ahead and go in the chat thread. Post your pictures of your progress. I'm going to take some shots of this today and get them on the group just so that I have something in there. It's feeling a lot like it's a knit-along for one. I know Milena's working on it now, but she wanted to finish up some other projects first before she got going. So I'm glad that she's getting to it. I'm excited to see what she thinks of it, how she likes knitting on it, and I am loving it, like seriously loving it. So I hope you liked seeing my progress on that. I know there's just not a whole lot to talk about this week. So just to reiterate, the knit along goes till May 15th, so still lots of time to work on it. And there are going to be prizes, which I thought would be exciting for everyone. Milena's gonna dye yarn, and I'm gonna make a project bag, so there are gonna be a couple of prizes. And yeah, I hope you join us. I hope you decide to join us. If you're on the fence about it, let me know. Ask me questions in the comments down below this video. I'd be happy to talk you into it in the comments. If I'm not talking you into it just right now. So anyway, it's been a lovely, lovely project to work on. Great for the last weeks of winter here. The only other thing I was going to show you is this bag that I have created, and this is up in my store in case you're interested. This tote bag was so much fun to make. Oh my goodness. Let me see if I can remember the pattern. What's it called? Memory Lane Quilted Tote. And it uses jelly roll, or you can cut your own 2.5-inch strips of fabric. They have to be 21 or 22 inches long, and then you trim it down from there. But features French seams, which is something I've never done before. And I lined it with this Marsha Dursey fabric, which is so fun. It's very like watercolory and collage-y. It's hard to get a good glimpse of it, but there's no pockets inside or outside. It's just a basic tote with cotton straps. But oh my gosh, it was so fun. So much fun to make. I would make this again in a heartbeat. So if you're interested in getting a new tote bag, this is posted on my website, which is loreleiherdo.com, in case you want to check it out. I don't need another tote bag, my gosh. I have a million that I don't use as it is. So, yeah, so I guess that's all I've really been working on besides jewelry. It's tax time, so there's always added stress about that. The weather's been kind of cruddy, so we're just trying to get through March here, taking it day by day. I did have a little bit of a stressful February. If you follow me on Instagram, or if you follow me on Facebook, I suppose you would have seen it there, but I had a surprise ruptured cyst on my ovary a couple weeks ago, so that was interesting. Landed me in the ER. Not fun. We're still waiting for some results of an ultrasound to see if there are any other cysts. Let's hope there's not. And I never want to go through that again, so that wasn't really very fun to deal with, and that actually happened on the tail end of my trip, or my visit with Milan when she was here. So she literally went home Saturday, and Sunday night I was in the ER. So I thought it was a gastrointestinal issue, but apparently it was much worse than that, as seen on the CAT scan. So doing okay now though, doing okay. Took me a little while to bounce back from that trauma. Took me a good week to recover from that. I'm not sure why at the age of 49 I'm having such a hard time. I'm not 49 yet, I'll be 49 in May, but I'm just as good as 49. Why is it taking me so long to bounce back from illness? I don't know, but yeah, so February stunk, and now here we are in March, and hopefully we're going to be having a better month this month, health-wise. Joe and I have been watching what we eat a little bit this month, so I'm hoping to lose some weight. I am feeling a little bit better in my clothes these days, so I think it's working. I mean, we're eating kind of gluten-free, mostly gluten-free. I'm not like going crazy about it. He's definitely eating gluten-free dinners, and then doing some other things for his other meals, but I'm kind of just trying to eat lighter, less at every meal, and trying to do gluten-free or just kind of staying away from bread and white flour and sugar, but I'm not having too much luck in that department. So hopefully that gets better or easier as the weeks go by. I've also tried to get back on the treadmill and haven't really been great at that. So hopefully I can find some motivation to walk on that damn treadmill, or at least walk outside. But like I said, the weather has not really been great. Today's in the 20s. It's too cold. Too cold for me anyway. So I hope you like this episode. If you like knitting, I do a knitting podcast probably once a month. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button to see more of that. On my channel, you'll also find categories for fountain pens and stationery and other things like that, because I'm interested in all the things. So if you're interested in seeing any of that, go ahead and leave me a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a good one.